Hello and welcome back to another video here in the Lego Room. I hope you are well. Today I have sort of gone back and forward about the title of this video, whether I should be Lego is no longer for kids or whether it should just be what is next for Lego, because I have been sort of tussling with this quite a lot, almost for a year now on the channel. We've been doing videos about the sort of increase in price and Lego continuing to make billions of pounds of profit every single year, and where we're sort of heading in terms of affordability of Lego. And do drop a like on this video before we dive right into it. It would be sincerely appreciated and it does help us out. If you're new here, please do consider subscribing. There is always Lego videos almost on a daily basis in this space, and yeah, it would seriously help us out. And I wanted to touch on basically a video that I did a couple of weeks ago, which is what is next for Lego and indeed for Lego Star Wars. And I had a whole bunch of thoughts in this video that I kind of left and put to the side because they felt a little bit controversial in a way, or something that I didn't really want to get too bogged down in the negatives of where we're at with Lego and Lego Star Wars. But recently I've seen a lot of comments as well, and I had one or two comments on the investment video as well about how this is a kid's toy, and it seems to be something we go to all the time, as this Reddit style aggressive answer of this is for kids. And that's something I just profoundly disagree with. Of course, this was originally a toy for kids and still remains to be so in certain capacity, but ever since we saw the Adults Welcome slogan, the Adults Welcome sort of marketing package around COVID almost 5 years ago, we've seen, of course, the amount of adults that have come to the hobby, and it is considerably more than pre-COVID. And this is not necessarily something that is just for kids anymore, and I think that's very clear to everybody who is involved in the hobby that this is obviously the case. It is, however, something that seems to be greeted by non-Lego hobby people that that is just a kid's toy, and that is basically just a shut down argument for all of it. However, in a very controversial way, I want to kind of go with that argument just for now, in sort of the sense of talking about something that I've touched on in not just the mental health awareness video, the first and second one, but also in that what next video, and a little bit last week in that Death Star sort of synopsis that we did. Lego, it's no longer for kids, and there's an argument to be said that it is no longer for kids. Now, the argument, of course, is that this has become abhorrently priced over the last couple of years. It is no longer affordable. You really have to look at what it is you want to buy. You can't just collect every theme, and you can't collect every single item from every single theme. You have to sort of look to zone in on one particular theme that you love, and in my case there's one or two themes that I love, which of course makes it quite pricey as well. And you have to look at what it is you particularly want, because the price has just gotten crazy out of hand. A lot of people speak about inflation and shrinkflation, of course, the shrinking of sets to create a piece count that is slightly more palatable and therefore affordable. And price per piece is something I've spoken about many times, and of course I don't think is necessarily the best way to work out whether or not you're getting good value. And there's tons of different examples I could use for this, where you've basically created or used three pieces to create the same one piece that you maybe would have used years and years ago. And if you look back at some of the older, bigger sets from the early 2000s, late 1999, these sets are sets that have far less pieces in. However, they still create a similar or bigger, in some ways, shape than some of the sets that we see today. And I want to just zone in on the idea that this is no longer for kids, because that is something that I have touched on in the mental health awareness video. And for those that aren't aware, I am a mental health practitioner here in the UK. That is my regular job when I'm not doing videos about kids' toys on YouTube. This is something that I do as a living, and something I've done for a number of years. And the thing that I want to focus in on is not just the importance of this for people that do struggle with mental health, but for me personally, as somebody with ADD and would have been diagnosed as neurodiverse had it been all those years ago, and it was now, if that makes sense, it would fall under the bracket of neurodiversity. And the importance of a toy like this for kids that allows them to develop the cognitive parts of their brain, allows them to have that sense of accomplishment. And this is something really important. I think this is something that's really important for kids, and I think it is something that is being overlooked in amongst all of this price per piece and inflation talk, and Lego just becoming too expensive, and them creating all of these fantastic adult based sets, which of course is fantastic for someone like myself and probably many of the people watching this video, but it is something that is potentially hurting younger fans. And of course, the price of it is something that is hurting younger fans as well, because this is something that is no longer affordable for kids. Now, to give an example of this, myself and Mrs. Bricker, who, if you come to our Whatnot streams, has our own fan club, Mrs. Bricker, we have worked with a charity at Christmas last year, and we will be doing so again this year. You can already go and bookmark the Whatnot Show Galactics Grotto, where we'll be giving a whole bunch of stuff away, but we'll also be donating all of the money to a charity local to where we are in West Yorkshire currently. And this is a charity that helps disadvantaged kids as well as neurodiverse kids, as well as sort of low earning family income homes. And there's basically a ton of toys, thousands and thousands of toys that are sent out every single year to these families. And the one thing that was really special about when Mrs. Bricker did it almost 2 years ago, the winter of 2023, was giving a toy to a family, with it being Lego, and the family not believing that this was something that was achievable. And this is probably a story for a whole other time, but the idea that this is such an unaffordable toy for a family that are disadvantaged or in a less privileged position is something that really resonated with me, and has continued to resonate with me since. The fact that this is not something that is readily available for everybody to go and get their hands on. It isn't something that everybody can go and get their hands on. It has become an expensive toy for kids. Now, for adult collectors like myself, it's not a problem at all. It is, of course, something that I have various revenue streams, including a very good job, to allow myself to sort of cultivate the room that you can see behind me. So it's not necessarily an issue. The fact that I had access to this at a young age, despite the fact that we weren't particularly an affluent family, but I did have access to it, probably because it wasn't as badly priced as it is now. It was more affordable, and therefore I was able to not only get my hands on it, but allow it to add something back to me. And obviously it is part of the whole reason you see these videos, and the whole reason you see everything behind me. And I'm concerned that that is the thing that we are going to lose as this sort of saga of the increase of price goes on. I just think that we are continuing to lose that, and that is my main concern out of all this, because the reality is I will be able to go and grab one or two sets that I like on January the 1st. I'll be able to treat myself to a big set before the end of the year that I've been looking at for a couple of years. I'll be able to go and do those things. This isn't necessarily a problem for me, but it is something that is a problem for a lot of other people, and a lot of young galactic brickers, a lot of young kids that were or are into these themes, that are into this stuff, that are neurodiverse, who do need these tools, do need these toys to help them develop, to help them grow. They are the ones that are going to be missing out on this, and this is something that I am really sort of passionate about. And one of the reasons that we're doing things like the Galactic Grotto at the very end of the year, one of the reasons we did the Life Play charity event a couple of months ago now on Whatnot, we also took part in the Fairy Bricks Foundation as well for disadvantaged kids. This is something that I am really passionate about, and it is something that I believe that we can help with. And with that said, of course, this is where I have a really harsh stance on it, because I just think this has become abhorrently priced, and the people that are going to suffer aren't me. It isn't me who's got a job and other revenue streams. It isn't people who can afford to watch YouTube on their phone right now. It is for the kids out there that are going to struggle to be able to develop the same way that maybe I did, or other people out there without access to these things. Whew. So quite a heated idea, something that I am passionate about, and something you will continue to probably see on the channel from us, and indeed in our Whatnot streams, and in particular those charity streams that we'll be doing. We've already done a couple, and we'll definitely be doing a big one by the end of the year. Is something that we are very passionate about. And thank you for watching. If you've made it to this point in the video, it has been a different type of video, and quite a lot of the sort of heated ideas and thoughts that I have that maybe got left out of some of those What's Next and Death Star preview videos that I have, and very much pandering to the Reddit style comment of, these are for kids and they're right, this should be available for kids, it should be. And I'm fearful that we're getting further and further away from them being for kids. So thank you for watching if you made it this far in the video. If you're new here, not all the videos in the LEGO room are this serious. We have a lot of fun here in this space, but that is something that I really wanted to get across and talk about. And thank you for watching. Do consider subscribing if you're new here. We've always got stuff going on in this room. We've got a whole bunch of playlists of different things that we've built and made and things that we're doing in the LEGO room. So go and check those out. Thank you for watching. Take care, and I will see you in the very next video.